Welcome to the Crystal Beauty Show. Today the show will be done via Skype, and our guest today is Mr. Hector Echavarria. He's a filmmaker, an actor, and he also does martial arts. Welcome to the Crystal Beauty Show, and thank you so much for, giving me your time and being on the show.
Thank you. No problem. It's a pleasure.
Thanks. So tell me a little bit about yourself. I know you started off as a kickboxer while growing up, and suddenly you got into film. So what happened? Why did you get into film? What inspired you?
Well, actually, it was an accident. I went to a place to look for a studio to rent, and I walked into a place thinking it was a rent, like a rental place, and it was the agency that was doing the PR for Miami Vice, and she says before I leave, she said, you have a great look. Have you considered doing films or television? I said, yeah, one day I'm going to do that. And she got me an interview right away with the director of Miami Vice, Michael Mann, and he was a fan of martial arts, and I was, a champion at the time. So immediately he wrote something for me in the show, and that's how I started. And then I did some national commercials here in the States. And in Argentina, a producer who was traveling saw the series and saw the commercials, and they called me to do some movies there. The movie became so successful that it turned out into a TV show. Then after the TV show, I came back to the States and I started doing film. So just like one thing led to another, to another, to another.
Okay. So I would like to talk more about the movie you've just produced recently, Chave, Cage of Glory.
Yeah.
So a little bit about what the movie is about and what inspired it.
Yeah, the movie is about a struggling couple trying to pay the bills,
Okay.
and the main character, he used to be a fighter, so he does some MMA fights on the weekend just to try to pay for the electricity and the bills. And the footage of his fight get into the YouTube, and it has a huge following. So when the organization ran out of opponents for the champion, they decide to give him the chance to compete. And that's how he get the chance of a lifetime. He has a kid that is sick, that he needs some operation. So he has to make the decision, okay, he's going to risk his life fighting this guy to save his kid. And then, all the consequences that bring, and that's how the movie is.
Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil, for thou art with me always.
You never give up. Even when you're defeated.
I want my money. We've been waiting here for an hour.
Well, I don't have your money right now.
How'd you do?
Not good, baby.
Martin's gonna need another operation. His heart is weakening.
Don't worry, I got a few interviews tomorrow. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get something.
I know you're trying, baby.
You come over us now.
You fought 8 times in the last 2 months for a lousy $200 a fight. Look at your face.
This is the guy I was telling you about. He's Mexico, he's America, he's today. Not just somebody, but the dream.
Mr. Hector Chavez. Really very nice to meet you.
But for the first time in my life, there's people out there that love my fighting.
You can die giving people what they love. I'm not gonna sit here and watch my son die and you die too.
We'll get through this. We'll get through this.
Hector, the Mexican Chavez!
And the inspiration I got it because I was looking for a story to write for the next movie I was doing,
Yeah.
and I have it was a lot of financial problems, know, like people losing houses and jobs, and so I started studying some of those people, and it was very uplifting for me to find out how just regular people will pull together and do the best to go through difficult circumstances and keep their family together. And I thought, well, you know what, that to me is a real hero. You know, that's a story of a hero. And I say, okay, let's do that. Let's use this as an inspiration to write something how just a regular nobody can, pull his family together no matter the circumstances. And that's how the movie came about.
Okay. And what was the filming process? Okay.
And I wrote the script with a few actors in mind. I sent the script to the actors, and I sent it to the agents. They read it. I had a great coverage for the script, so they give it to the actor. The actor fell in love with the project, so they called me back and they said, we really want to do this. And I also did some very extensive casting. We saw about 5,000 people for the part of the wife. And we did a lot of rehearsal and preparation to the picture because we had only 6 weeks that we needed to shoot because the availability of all the actors were doing other projects. So we took about 3 to 4 months of just rehearsal and planning the fights and rehearsing the scenes.
Okay. So the movie will be premiered September 13th, and I was just wondering, do you have plans of premiering it in Africa or distributing it in any country in Africa, or is it just gonna be in the US?
No, we're definitely going to go to Africa. My head of distribution is working on the foreign. Of course, we have to focus first in the United States. We're going to mainly work in the States for a few months, and then after that, we already have plans to go to all Central, South America, and of course Europe and Africa.
Okay. And what are the people that influence you in your filmmaking career?
To be honest, my dad was my biggest inspiration.
Okay.
He was a very he was very an entrepreneur. He's always coming with crazy ideas, and he had a very successful life business wise. And he was my best friend and everything. When I needed to talk to him, he was there for me. So my true inspiration was my dad. As a filmmaker, of course, I like to study all the other filmmakers, and I really love the work that go ahead, make my day. What's his name? Clint Eastwood has done. So as a filmmaker, of course, I see every movie. I study scripts. I read a lot of scripts from Night Shyamalan, like The Sixth Sense, and I study a lot of the scripts just to see the process. And of course, I study the films. And Alfred Hitchcock, was an amazing filmmaker. He was also a great promoter. So I constantly study other people that were successful as a filmmaker.
Okay. Most of your films are actually around martial arts. Do you plan on producing something outside of that? Maybe
Yes.
a drama or...
Yes, we are actually working on the next movie is called Los Muertos, that we are right now in pre-production.
Okay.
And it's an action comedy. It's a group of Latinos. It's a group of 4 Latinos that are in a special force operation in Iraq, and because they're Latino, they're a nightmare for their bosses. Like they never show up on time and all the things that the Latinos are known for being bad at.
Yeah.
but also they're the most loyal. They're the more sacrificed. They're the one that save the most lives. So it's very funny, and I'm of course working again with Danny Trejo, who is an amazing actor, and we're going to bring other people from Mexico to co-star in the movie. And we are talking to Dov Lundgren to be the villain. So we're going to film the movie in half of the movie is going to be shot in Nicaragua because it's supposed to happen in Central America. So definitely the movie. After that, we're working on another movie called Hell's Dead, and it's a horror picture. So definitely, we'll be doing other type of genre too.
Okay, that's very good. Where do you hope to see yourself 10 years from now?
Hopefully, I will establish my company as a premier Latino film studio in Hollywood.
Okay.
I want to focus on producing Latino films for the United States. The market is huge here. Latinos represent 50% of the ticket sales for a lot of the major studios, and we never had a voice. Just like any other ethnicity, it's very hard to get your voice to be here and your story to be told. I remember when I first moved back to United States, like 13 years ago. The first 3 years, I just went through the regular process that any other actor or talent will go through in the city, and I always have to read for the guy who is a drug dealer, the guy who is a pimp, the guy who cut the grass or clean the house of, and it never was a good part for me to feel proud doing this part. And I thought, wow, this is pretty sickening, and I constantly ask, maybe there's not the lead, but maybe a secondary actor that's a good guy. You don't have to be the drug dealer, and they told me flat out, no, that's not the way it works, and you got to do that part. And actually, they even want me to exaggerate things that they thought that it represent me, which it never represent me. Like have a beard and a big chain of gold. Like we don't do that,
Yeah.
So I'm going to make my accent thicker rather than try to avoid the accent. So I'm like, wow, So at one point I just really got sick of the system, and I said, you know what, I want to do something that I want to make my people proud as a human being, as an artist. And I decided, okay, if nobody believes in me, then if I have to write it and produce it and develop, then I'll just do that. I mean, it's a tremendous amount of work. But if nobody else is doing it, then somebody had to step up and speak.
Yeah.
And I'm very proud to be that person that did that. And I hope that the people follow, And even if they don't, I know I done my job. So I go every day in bed and I completely pass out because I know I did my best. And as that's all that counts in life, knowing that you did the best and you were true to yourself. You don't try to be nobody else. You don't try to imitate anybody. You're you. And it's great when you discover the power that you have when you just you.
Okay. Were your family very encouraging when you started your filmmaking career?
My family at the beginning was not. But I understand it's because you moving to do something that is out of the comfort zone.
Yeah.
So I clearly remember when I was 14. I wasn't thinking of film at that time. I was thinking about fighting, and I said that I'm going to move to the States because I was born in a very small city down in Corrientes in the north of Argentina. I said, to my dad and my two brothers and my mom, I'm going to go and live in the state, and I'm going to be a world martial art champions or like a kickboxer champion. And they all of them started laughing at the table, and they couldn't stop laughing. But I knew that I'm going to do it. So it wasn't nothing. I just understand that they couldn't see it in their mind. But as long as I saw it, then it will be fine.
Yeah. So, what do you do during your free time?
I work. I don't have a free time. I work.
Wow.
But I love what I do. So my hobby is my work.
Okay.
So, like I have fun doing what I love. So I work 24 hours a day, even when I'm taking a nap. When I do take a nap, I take a nap, which I call it like a power nap. Like I go and find a quiet place and start running my mind, the things that I wanted to accomplish next, and I visualize a lot. So even when I'm resting, I'm working, But I find it's the best way for me. Like I get tense and nervous when I'm in vacation. I can't take it. Like if I go on a vacation for 5 days, by the second day I want to kill somebody.
So, when I was reading your biography, it mentioned something about you being a sickly child when you're growing up. So right now, are you still sickly, or was that just with your childhood?
No, that was just when I was a kid.
Okay.
I was very sick. I have severe asthma. I died actually twice, and they brought me back. And
Wow.
yeah, so my family my dad and my mom were very desperate and trying to get something to help me with. So I was doing all kind of sports, swimming, everything, and even acupuncture. The guy performing the acupuncture was a Chinese master, and he started teaching me kung fu, and that's how I started in martial arts. And when I was about 10, I had so much training and improved my lungs and all my breathing capacity that the sickness went completely away. So that's the other thing. Like martial arts really did two great things for me. One is that it saved my life. I'm here thanks to the martial arts. And the second and most important is that I can, if I look back at everything that I accomplished in my life, I know that it was based on the principles and the building of the character that I got from the art. So, the qualities of being disciplined, stickability, always going the extra mile, working as hard as you can, paying attention to do sacrifices when you need to do them, being able to take pain or rejection and don't give up. Those principles that shape my character are definitely what it made me the person that I am today. So I'm very grateful to the art, and I know because I constantly promote and teach that it does the same thing for other people. So that's why one of the reasons that I always have a little bit of martial arts in the film. And that's why the films were heavily into martial arts. But as I said, now that we move into all the different type of features, like this is, for example, Chavez is actually really a drama that happens in the background of the martial arts of the what is called today the mixed martial arts. But although it's a drama, it has in the background with the mixed martial arts. So in the next movie that we do, and although it's action movie, of course I have some martial arts fighting within the movie, and I actually kids and audiences love seeing fights in the movie. So so that's why I do it, but also especially because I want to promote for all the things that they've done for me.
Nice. So if you had to choose between martial arts and film, which will you choose?
Before I would have said martial arts quickly, but right now I'm very involved with films. I think I will choose films now.
And when it comes to films, there's a lot of criticism and negative comments that come along the way. How do you deal with that?
Just don't pay attention. I don't. I have a saying, or I used to train with a great master of martial arts. His name was Ed Parker. He discovered Bruce Lee, and he trained some of the biggest people in the world. He passed away now, but I trained with him, and he told me, look, there's three type of people: the people that talk about what other people are doing, the people that watch what other people are doing, and the people doing it. So never pay attention to the first two. Just be the one doing it. So everybody talk about you and everybody watch you do it. And that's exactly what I do.
Okay. So, what advice would you give to people who want to become filmmakers?
It's a tough business,
Mm-hmm.
but so every business is a tough business. Especially if you want to achieve any level of success, even as a fighter, it's a tough business. As a filmmaker, it's a tough business. As a doctor, it's a tough business. You have competition, you have this. So my advice is very, very, very simple. Is one, never forget who you are and never try to be anybody else but you, because when you are yourself, something great happens. There's so much power in being yourself, empowers you, give you all the power that you need. So one, always be yourself. And the second one is never give up. And if you have those two in mind all the time, you keep remind yourself who you are, how valuable you are, how unique you are, how special you are. And if you never give up, sooner or later, the goal is going to be yours. And when you know that sooner or later it's going to be yours, it's okay, because if it doesn't come today, it'll come tomorrow. So those two are, to me, the essence of any success.
Okay. So, do you have any last words for our viewers?
Just be yourself and go out there and kick some ass for me. for you.
Okay, thank you so much for being on the Crystal Beauty Show. And
You're
good
welcome.
luck, and I hope the movie is going to be a success.
Thank you very much.
Okay, bye.
You have a good day. Bye.
Thank you very much for tuning in to the Crystal Beauty Show. As usual, leave your comments, like our Facebook fan page, visit our website, which is www.crystalbeautyshow.tv, subscribe to our channel, and until next time, this is Crystal Beauty saying bye bye.